Welcome, everyone, to the Meaningful Hearts podcast, where we discuss the everyday questions that make us or break us if we let them. I am your host, Drew. Take my hand and let's walk this journey together. Welcome, everyone, back to another episode of the Meaningful Hearts podcast. If we were given 30 days of freedom from our responsibilities, what would we do? Free and clear. No wife, no husband, no kids, no obligations whatsoever. You, in a room or a house or whatever your imagination come up with, complete freedom to work on your plan, work on the thing that you've been putting off, or maybe life got in the way and you weren't able to start it, right? A blissful time away from your cares and worries. That sounds amazing. Sounds like a vacation. Sounds like what Bill Gates does, right? Bill Gates takes a duffel bag of books. He goes into like a place where there's no technology. It's like a log cabin style house. And the man just goes into his mind. He goes into his mind and he just goes, like, runs with the wolves, right? Awesome. Now, free time, 30 days. Now, it might not look like a lot of time to a lot of you, but 30 days uninterrupted. There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to interrupt your life. Everything fell into place, right? In our minds, we always wait for that perfect moment for something to happen so that we can do something, right? Well, this is that time. This is your safer instance, right? This is not something that's actually going to happen. I mean, it might. During COVID, I'm sure a lot of us got some free time away from our jobs. I mean, not from our families, but lockdown allowed us a little more time to work on other things, right? So what I want to say is, what would you do? Actually, the question is, what would you do with 30 days, right? 30 days. How would you handle that? Really? How would you? Do you have something set in place? Do you have like a planner that maybe you wrote some things down that you're interested in doing? You're like, oh man, hand it off to me. I'm ready to rock, right? Maybe that's you, right? Maybe you already have it. You're ready to run. You're just really busy, right? Plan in place is important because free time is great, but if you're not going to do anything with it, you might as well just go back to work, right? I mean, a lot of times we say, if we had more time, if we had this, well, this is that time, right? But we don't have enough time. Life doesn't work that way, right? And at the same time, we avoid doing a lot of things because, we're afraid to fail. We're afraid to actually try something and fail at it because 90% of the time to 100% of the time, you're going to fail. It's going to happen. And failure is not a bad thing. It's really not. It tells you what you did wrong. It's not pretty, but it tells you what you did wrong. And then you could go back to the drawing board and go back at it again. Nobody likes a quick shot to the ego, right? Nobody does. It sucks. There is time in your life, right? But what would you do with this 30 days? That's the real question, right? Like, just think about it. So much time to do things, right? But would you seize the day? Would you take those 30 days and just kill it, crush it? Right? Would you crush it? Are you unsure? Because in your mind, I want you guys to go to this place right now. I want you to entertain this right now. Are you guys scared? Are you guys scared that you're going to come up short? And a lot of you are probably still saying, like, Drew, how the hell can I make an impact in 30 days? That's just a month. Well, it's a lot of time to do one thing and only that one thing. That's a lot of time. That's 24/7 dedication. Not to say that you have to spend 24 hours and 7 days a week doing that because you die. But that's 10,000 hours makes you an expert at something, right? And 1 month is 730 hours. So if you could figure out how many hours out of that 730 that you could work towards your goal, that's a shit ton of time. That's pretty damn good. I mean, you need to sleep. Like I said, it's just complete quiet, uninterrupted. I mean, I'm just really trying to put this into perspective for you, how much time that is, right? I really want you guys to understand that. Now, there's plenty of projects There's plenty of books to read. I think reading is important. I think what I would do is I would go over a list of books that I wanted. I'd have those set aside, right? Pertaining to what I'm looking to do, right? I'm into marketing. Marketing is a very important part of the internet landscape. So regardless of whether you're an internet person, regardless of whether you're a marketing person, but you're on the internet or you have a business that is propelled by the internet, you need to understand marketing. You just need to, because, you're in the middle of the desert in the internet. And the only way for people to find you is by letting them know that you're there, right? So that's what I would do. I would spend a lot of time learning more about marketing, which I'm already doing, but uninterrupted completely, I would just dive in further. That's where I would start. And then have a game plan. Obviously you want to mark your progress and you want to be able to apply this immediately, right? So within those 30 days, I think what you would want to do is take some of that information and apply it. Take some of the information and apply it. Because like I said, you have 30 days. So you want to make sure that you have enough time to actually implement some of these things. Or at the end of 30 days, you're ready to run. Maybe it gave you enough time, enough of a head start, so that by the time you get back to your life, you're automatically going to see where you can implement that, right? Some of you guys already have businesses that you're running, and you just need a little more time, just a little bit of an edge just to get further ahead, right? Some of you would develop new habits. That's another thing. Not just getting ahead business or success-wise as far as what you want to do with your life. Some of you, maybe fitness, right? 30 days into fitness could build a really good habit for you. You're separate from your family and everyone, so you could build better eating habits in those 30 days. You're uninterrupted, so you get plenty of time to exercise and meditate, to get your mind right. And then you could figure out how that you're going to implement that back into your life once your life gets crazy again. So I would want you guys to have an exit strategy once you leave those 30 days, right? Once you leave that 30-day time block, I want you to also work on a way to implement this stuff into your life. Because 30 days of doing a little bit, and then when you get back to your life, you're back to square one again because you had no plans to implement this. That's not going to work, right? You want to build progress, right? You want to build the muscles that maybe are weaker. So I would recommend also spending that time figuring out how you're going to reorganize your life going forward. Have a schedule. A lot of people don't have schedules. They just fly by the seam of their pants, and that doesn't work. Very successful people have everything scheduled out. Something that I'm a work in progress on. Guilty as charged on that, but super important. We need to have a schedule. You need to have intentions of doing things at certain times. And then you're able to forecast what you have time for, what you really don't. Because we take, in our minds, we're just like, oh, I don't have time for that. But have you ever sat down and did the math on how much time is in a day, right? How much time you actually spend doing the physical activities you assume that you're doing in your mind, and then see where there's actual gaps of time that you have free. We got to be honest with ourselves here, right? That's super duper important. Super important. I want you guys also to make a pact with yourselves. A commitment after you go through those 30 days. I want you to hypothetically make this commitment like as if you're doing those 30 days. But I understand you don't have 30 days of free time. But I want you to get into that state of mind where whatever free time you have, I want you to utilize it like you would the 30 days if you did have it. That might sound a little confusing, but you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm understanding like whatever time you have, I want you to look at it that way. And I want you to sit down and realize that there is time in a day for you. And make a pact with yourselves that you are going to make progress. Whether it's an hour, 2 hours, 45 minutes a day, make that time. Make that time for yourself. Seize your youth. You're only going to be this age now, and as time progresses, you're going to get older. And you can't predict the future. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you're listening to this, I really want you guys to think about the 30 days. I want you guys to pop in what a fantasy 30 days would look like. And then what I want you to do is once you get out of that 30-day fantasy of what it would be, I want you to go back to the drawing board, and I want you to take some of those things, those thoughts that you had, and I want you to board them up onto like a piece of paper or a schedule, and I want you to slowly implement those things in your life. And you're like, wait, Drew, You wanted me to just do a fantasy thing, and now you want me to really do this for real? Yeah, I want you to do this for real. If you have 30 days, go for it. If you have 60, go for it. If you have vacation time you haven't used and you have time and maybe you don't have much going on else in your life and you're able to implement this, go for it. Go for a hideaway for a week, 2 weeks. Get your mind right. Put your feet in the grass. Breathe the fresh air. Have an epiphany. Epiphanies are great. They happen at all different times in our lives and they make us think something. We might be eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream, watching a TV show. And then something pops on that triggers a thought in our minds that has nothing to do with the show, but has something to do with our real life. Well, that's what I want you to do with the 30 days. I want you to take the idea of those 30 days in your fantasy mind, and I want you guys to have an epiphany. And I want you to, you can have this fantasy as many times as you like, right? In your minds. Wherever you're sitting, whatever you're doing, if you're on your lunch break, sit there, visualize it, and then implement it. That's what I want you guys to do. I think that would be a lot of fun. And, if you have kids, you have your husband or wife or whoever your spouse is, they can do it as well. It's just an activity, something to renew your life and get you excited again about making progress in your life, because I know a lot of you are listening to this for that reason, right? We're not here to sit stagnant and have boring lives. We're looking to progress in any which way that we're failing or we don't have that in our lives. We're all trying to get there, right? So this is another tool that I want to utilize. I really want to utilize this tool for a lot of things. I use this stuff myself, and I'm always looking for new ways to just not like reinvent the wheel. Like nobody wants to reinvent the wheel, but just kind of get the idea from other things that are out there and just kind of add to it. I think having a good imagination, a beautiful imagination, will also work towards you in the future as far as being able to see past where you are. Open up your eyes and your mind to new possibilities. I always tell you to read a book, read books. Books are a gateway into new possibilities because there are people that have ideas about the same thing, but in a different angle. And it's like, boom, epiphany. See that? The more information and knowledge that you get into your mind, the more epiphanies you have. And those things help you see something the way you never saw it before. And you're like, wow, all I do is do that instead of this. Yup. It's just like that. When you're on YouTube and maybe you're working on your golf swing or how to throw a football further, right? Further or farther? Yeah. Not an English major. But you understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Somebody's going to tell you to do something slightly different than you've been doing the whole time, which is preventing you from doing that one thing. Now they change the game for you just by that one thing. It's like getting the cheat code. I'm sure you all played video games at one point in your life and somebody did something different. And you're like, oh man, so that's how you beat that guy in that level. Oh, I didn't know that. I was doing this one thing and I kept failing and dying. Well, that's not the way to do it, right? That's not the way to do it. This is the new way. And we live in the age of information, so ignorance is not allowed. Please, don't tell me that you don't know or you can't. There is plenty of inspiration. You have social media, right? I told you to start following people that are in the same, interests that you have, influencers and people that are giving great information. I want you to delete all the other people and follow all those other people. I want you to just put those people in there, people that are in your realm of interests and things that you're looking to grow on and be a part of. That's all I want you to see in social media. And when you look at your social media every day, boom, there's going to be things that pop up. I get a lot of my ideas and discussions from social media. I call it my Dream 100, right? That's what Russell Brunson calls his Dream 100. I got the idea from him. I'm not an inventor, and he's not an inventor either. He just rebranded that thing for himself, and he shared it. And I read a book, which gave me an epiphany to say, oh, that's how you do it. I didn't pull this stuff out of thin air. I'm not that smart. Not. But I love sharing great information. And this is beautiful information for you. Beautiful. If you get, like I said, one thing out of anything I say that changes your life, I am doing my job and I could die happy. I love you all. Please listen and push forward because there's a beautiful life waiting for you ahead. All you have to do is go for it and seize it. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon.